check. Hello. 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 Check. Hello. Hello. Check. Hello. Hello. Check. Hello. Check.
Hello, hello, hello.
के भयो के भयो
हेलो हेलो सर अलिकति घटाइदिनु त धेरै हाई भयो अडियो हेलो हेलो अलिक अझै थोरै घटाइदिनु हेलो हेलो अझै घटाउनु हेलो हेलो हुन्छ ठिक छ सर हेलो हेलो
हेलो हेलो एकचोटि हेर्नु न हेलो हेलो चेक हेलो हेलो
Please may I have your attention? I would like to request all the distinguished guests to kindly complete the registration process outside the hall, please. I would like to request everyone to kindly take your seats and please put your mobile phone in silent mode. We will be beginning the program very shortly. Thank you. A very warm good afternoon and welcome to Chief Secretary, Government of Nepal and the distinguished guest of our today's program, His Excellency Mr. Shankar Das Bairagi, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University and the special guest of today's program, Professor Dr. Bhola Thapa, respected Registrar of Kathmandu University and also the co-chair of WTO Chairs Program Nepal, Professor Dr. Achut Wagle, Deputy Director General World Trade Organization and today's special distinguished guest speaker, His Excellency Dr. Chang, Director of the Knowledge Management Division, WTO Chairs Program, Dr. Werner Duke. Ambassador of Australia to Nepal, from among the donors to WTO Chairs Program, Her Excellency Felicity Wok. Director General, Ministry of Labour and Economic Affairs, from among the donors to WTO Chairs Program, Geneva, Ms. Cynthia Zimmerman. Ambassador and Deputy Representative of the Republic of Korea, from among the donors to WTO Chairs Program, Geneva, His Excellency Mr. Young Sung Park. Academic Advisory Board Member of WTO Chairs Program, Geneva, Ms. Desiree Van Gogh. Dean of Kathmandu University School of Management and Chair of WTO Chairs Program, Professor Dr. Devi Prasad Bedari. President of Federation of Nepalese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Shekhar Golcha. Leaders from the academia, representatives from diplomatic communities, government secretaries and officials, representatives from private sector and media, distinguished guests, volunteers, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to our today's launching ceremony of WTO Chairs Program Nepal. In our today's program, we will have a wonderful opportunity to listen to 11 of our esteemed speakers, out of which 4 speakers are virtually present with us from Geneva and Austria, while the other 7 speakers are present with us here in this hall. Before we take the program ahead, I would like to take the opportunity to request our esteemed speakers present here to kindly come up on the stage and take their seats, please. I would like to request Roshi ma'am to kindly welcome the guests with bouquet. I would like to invite on stage Deputy Director General, World Trade Organization, His Excellency Dr. Chang. Ambassador of Australia to Nepal, Her Excellency Ms. Felicity Wok. Dean of Kathmandu University School of Management, Professor Dr. Devi Bedari. President of Federation of Nepalese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Shekhar Golcha. Respected Registrar of Kathmandu University and also the co-chair of WTO Chairs Program Nepal, Professor Dr. Achut Wagle. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University and the special guest of today's program, Professor Dr. Bhola Thapa. Chief Secretary, Government of Nepal and the distinguished chief guest of today's program, His Excellency Mr. Shankar Das Bairagi. Thank you so much, speakers. On behalf of Kathmandu University School of Management, I, Sunanda Sharma, Assistant Professor of Marketing at KUSUM, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone present here with us, both physically as well as virtually. Thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule and being present with us, accepting our invitation to celebrate the launch of WTO Chairs Program Nepal. The launch event has been planned for 2 days. The first day being today, which is the official launching ceremony of the program, and tomorrow there will be a seminar on trade and food security on the themes WTO and Nepal trade regime and food security and Nepal, organized by Kathmandu University School of Management at the school at Gwarko. Talking briefly about the WTO Chairs Program, the program was launched in 2010 and it works towards fostering research, training and outreach activities of relevance to governmental policy makers and other stakeholders at universities in developing and least developed countries. Academic institutions who have been awarded the WTO chairs receive support in the areas of research, curriculum development and outreach activities. representative from WTO Geneva will shed some more light about the WTO chair program in the later part of the program. Today's program has been scheduled approximately for 1.5 hours inside the hall, where we will have the opportunity to listen to our esteemed speakers. The program will close with official photograph session, followed by high tea in the late afternoon. So without any further delay, I would now like to take the program ahead and invite upon Registrar of Kathmandu University, also the co-chair of WCP Nepal, Professor Dr. Achut Wagle, for his welcome remarks and to read out the messages from Right Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal, Mr. Sher Bahadur Deowa, also the Chancellor of Kathmandu University, and the message from Honorable Minister of Industry, Commerce and Supplies, Mr. Dilendra Prasad Badu.
Thank you, Sunanda ma'am. Very good afternoon and welcome to you all in this very mesmerizingly beautiful Kathmandu weather. It's rare that we are seeing very tantalizing Himalayas this season. I think our foreign dignitaries are pleased with that. Distinguished chief guest of today's event, Chief Secretary of Government of Nepal, His Excellency Mr. Shankar Das Bairagi, who also happens to be one of the experts in trade, Nepal's trade system, trading system and regime. Respected Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Professor Dr. Bola Thapa, Deputy Director General of WTO, and today's special distinguished guest speaker who has traveled all the way from Geneva for the purpose here, His Excellency Shanjin Jiang. Hope I am pronouncing his name right. Excellency, Her Excellency Felicity Vok and other members from the diplomatic community, Vice Chancellor Sir from Agricultural University and other academic leaders, deans, registrars, distinguished guest speakers virtually from Geneva. We'll have 4 of them, including Dr. Warner, who has been very instrumental in awarding WTO chair to Nepal and leading up to this event at the successful mode. Secretaries of Government of Nepal, high-ranking government officials, distinguished advisory committee members, private sector leaders. We are looking. I'm told that Shekhar Golcha is on his way, the chairperson of FNCCI, and friends from media, all my colleagues from Kathmandu University, all distinguished guests, invitees, and volunteers, ladies and gentlemen. I have given another task. Let me first read out a message from Honorable Minister of Commerce and Commerce, Industries and Supplies. I think that is in the Industries, Commerce and Supplies, in that order, I guess. I quote, message from the Minister of Industry, Commerce and Supplies. I would like to heartily congratulate Kathmandu University School of Management for being selected as one of the 17 universities across the globe in the 3rd phase of WTO Chairs program, and sincerely thank World Trade Organization for choosing Nepal as an important partner for future collaboration through Nepal's prestigious academic institution, the Kathmandu University. It may be recalled that Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies, right since the beginning of this selection process, was very supportive to KU to enable to attain the WCP membership and had facilitated in all possible ways in process of application. The selection of KU is indeed a matter of pride for Nepal, and I, as the Minister concerned, would like to assure the Government of Nepal's full cooperation in implementing the WCP in Nepal and make full use of pragmatic research outcomes expected from the program. Despite my utmost will to physically participate in the official launch event of the WCP Nepal, I could not manage it as I needed to be in my constituency in Darchula that lies in perhaps the farthest distance from Kathmandu, owing to the upcoming parliamentary elections next month. However, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere commitment to support the Kathmandu University in implementing the WTO Chairs program in Nepal, and also to take it beneficial for the entire nation. To make it beneficial for the entire nation. Finally, I would also like to thank His Excellency Dr. Xian Xinjiang, Deputy Director General of WTO, for traveling to Nepal to grace the WCP Nepal launch event. I am confident that Nepal's relation with WTO attains new heights and becomes more beneficial for the least developed landlocked country like Nepal in the days to come. Thank you. Dilendra Prasad Badu, 16 October 2022, I unquote. Similarly, let me take this opportunity to read out the message for this event from our Right Honorable Prime Minister. I quote, "The Prime Minister, message, Kathmandu, Nepal. This gives me immense pleasure to note that Kathmandu University School of Management has been selected as one of the 17 universities across the globe out of some 120 aspirants for the third phase of WTO Chairs program. As the Chancellor of the university, I would like to thank World Trade Organization headquarters in Geneva for accepting Nepal as one of the important partners in this prestigious WCP platform that is specifically designed to help resolve the trade-related issue through academic, applied, and policy-related research and publication. I am delighted to know that formal launch of event of the WCP Nepal is taking place in Kathmandu on 17th and 18th of October 2022. Amidst the presence of senior dignitaries, including WTO Deputy Director General His Excellency Dr. Xian Xinjiang, participation of the high-level delegation from the WTO headquarters led by Deputy Director General is the proof of the immense importance accorded by the WTO towards enhancing Nepal's trade capacity in all possible areas, including logistics, research, and policy formulation. Nepal acceded to the WTO in April 2004. Obtaining WTO membership was a matter of great pride as well as a good opportunity for a landlocked country, Nepal, to integrate its trade and economy into the global trading system. However, ever since Nepal became the member of WTO, Nepal, as the least developed country, is entitled to enjoy different concessional provisions in conducting its international trade, as enshrined in the WTO agreements. Programs such as Enhanced Integrated Framework, Trade-Related Technical Assistance, Generalized Systems of Preference, etc., are some of the key mechanisms put forward by the WTO to benefit the LDCs like ours to enhance their trade capacity. However, Nepal has yet to fully harness the benefit of the international trade by optimally utilizing various concessional, special, and differential treatment provisions as embedded in the WTO agreements. I am sure the WCP Nepal program adds an important brick on ameliorating mainly supply-side constraints faced by Nepal in our international trade by making our trade and investment policy formulation more evidence-based and realistic, as well as compatible to international trading system. I am confident that the participation of all key stakeholders, including the government, academia, private sector, and civil society, in implementing the WCP and supporting the trade and investment policy formulation with both academic and applied research, will bring about desired results towards addressing alarmingly widening trade deficit of Nepal. I hope that WCP Nepal will be a good partnership program between the WTO and Kathmandu University to enhance Nepal's trade capacity by undertaking various academic activities, including research and outreach. Despite my keen interest to participate in WCP Nepal launch event, due to my competing program schedule, I could not attend the program personally. Nevertheless, I would like to extend my best wishes for the grand success of the WCP Nepal launch event and program as a whole. Lastly, I thank WTO, its high-level delegation members, and Kathmandu University School of Management for their tireless effort to successfully organizing this WCP Nepal launch event in Kathmandu. inaugurated the similar event in India before arriving in Kathmandu. That opens the regional cooperation and scope for regional economic integration in a different way through academic channels. Thank you, Dr. Chang, for making it now your presence a reality. Coincidentally, this happened to take place during Nepal's highly charged election season. Despite this, Right Honorable Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba obliged us by sending very inspirational official message for the event, and Chief Secretary of the Government of Nepal, His Excellency Mr. Sankar Das Bairagi, kindly accepted our request to be the chief guest in this event. Auspicious presence of the Vice Chancellor of KU, Professor Bola Thapa, FNCCI President Shekhar Golcha, I am still expecting him, and secretaries from Prime Minister's Office, several ministries, concerned Ministry of Industry and Commerce, has only demonstrated a true possibility of wider stakeholder participation when we go ahead with implementing the WCP Nepal program. We highly value contribution from a constellation of experts, speakers from Geneva. I would like to extend you a very warm welcome from Kathmandu. As it is already shared, Kathmandu University School of Management is selected for WTO Chairs Program Nepal to be part of network among 36 universities, 17 in the third phase. The issue of trade is close to our heart, as Nepal now has about 1:10 export-import gap that needs to be bridged by a unified approach for all stakeholders and evidence-based policy planning. The research under WCP may contribute to formulate more pragmatic policies, and through appropriate curriculum and teaching, we expect to develop manpower with required skill set and understand and manage both domestic and international trade. The thematic workshop to be organized tomorrow as part of this launch event, focusing on Nepal's trade potentials and bottlenecks and Nepal's food security challenges, in one of which our Vice Chancellor from Agricultural University will also be contributing academically. In line, and other a long line of expert speakers from both from here and abroad will deliberate on, and we hope to reach into some kind of meaningful resolutions and prescription in these two important fields. With these words, I would once again like to welcome you all. That is my duty as an organizer, to welcome all the distinguished guests. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Registrar Sir, for your kind words. I do agree with Achut Sir that Kathmandu University School of Management is extremely proud to be selected as one of the partners of the WCP program in the third phase of the selection process. Now taking the program ahead, I would like to request Director of the Knowledge Management Division, WTO Chairs Program, Dr. Werner Duck, who is virtually present with us from Geneva, to kindly share his welcome remarks.
Distinguished guests, ministers, professors, advisory board members and colleagues, it is my pleasure to be addressing you today. I am pleased to welcome the Kathmandu University School of Management as a new participant of the WTO Chairs Program, under the leadership of Professors Devi Pedari, Achyut Vagle, Shravan Kumar and their teams and advisory board in Nepal. Along with other universities, KUSOM forms part of a network of 36 chairs around the globe. With access to such a wide range of academics dealing with trade policy analysis, I believe the Institute will be able to make scientifically well-substantiated and diverse contributions to national policy making and to discussions at the WTO through the activities under the three key pillars of the program: research, curriculum development, and outreach. The new chair will also benefit from mutually learning through access to the chairs network, the WCP Academic Advisory Board, and experts at the WTO Secretariat. Professors Bedari and Wagle and their team prepared a plan of activities with a strong focus on developing not only in-house capacities at the university, but also on upskilling policymakers and stakeholders in capital, in the provinces of your country and the subcontinent, for example, through the work with regional MISMIS. As a business school, CUSAM is well placed to plan workshops with policymakers, business associations and traders to help them to develop practical and targeted approaches in future trade practices. Beside that, I highlight a special workshop that is being planned for rural entrepreneurs and school teachers with the goal to disseminate tools for advanced trade policy analysis. We also welcome the support envisaged for in-house development of knowledge through encouragement of students' participation in trade-related research projects and international conferences. Strong emphasis is placed on equity and social justice in selecting topics and conducting research and outreach activities. As a landlocked LDC and net food importing country, it is key for the new chair to explore how to improve access to benefits of globalization for the marginalized communities, to search for concrete solutions for its implementation, especially as Nepal, like other LDCs, actively engage in the LDC graduation debate. This, in my opinion, well reflects the needs of Nepal on a foundational level and will allow the country to build a stronger scientific foundation and expertise urgently needed to solve the issues of the present and the future, starting with the current crisis in food prices and security of supplies. Ladies and gentlemen, the CHAIRS program has witnessed many successes over its past 12 years of existence. Very positive independent evaluations by external experts and feedback from beneficiary members and donors are a testament to its prowess at creating long-lasting, sustainable and successful partnerships. Being a landlocked LDC at the crossroads between two major economic and geopolitical powers, access to the international network of chairs is of particular importance for Nepal. I firmly believe that our new chair in Nepal, thanks to its multifaceted team at CUSAM, its advisory board, and the close interaction with key government institutions and the business community, has a strong foundation and the full potential to make a difference for the country and to be well integrated into partnerships worldwide, and especially with the chairs in regional proximity. The program of the sessions following later today and tomorrow already show a very targeted and practical approach focusing on topics that really matter for the country. Finally, as the WTO doesn't have regional offices, our chairs are the eyes and ears of the WTO around the globe, and as our only chair in an Asian LDC, I encourage you to be engaged in the network and to reach out to delegations including the LDC group in Geneva and the Secretariat to make your voice heard at the WTO and in the Geneva community, and to seek any help you may need. The WCP team is very much looking forward to working closely with you in this endeavor. Many thanks and the best of luck with your journey as part of the WTO Chairs program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Werner. Kathmandu University School of Management will certainly work towards living up to the expectations, and we will focus on the three pillars of WCP intervention, being curriculum development, teaching, research and outreach activities. Now to take the program ahead, I would like to invite upon Chief Secretary, Government of Nepal, His Excellency Mr. Shankar Das Bairagi, to kindly come ahead and light the panas to formally begin the program. I would also like to request His Excellency Dr. Zhang, Deputy Director General, WTO, and respected Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Professor Dr. Bhola Thapa, to join him in the inauguration process. Thank you so much, sirs. Taking the program ahead, I would now like to invite upon Ambassador of Australia to Nepal from among the donors of WTO Chairs Program, Her Excellency Ms. Felicity Walk, to kindly share a few words.
Thank you so much, and namaskar everybody. Chief Secretary, His Excellency Shankar Das Baragi, Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Dr. Bola Tapa, Deputy Director General of the WTO, Dr. Zhang, distinguished colleagues from the WTO, Kathmandu University and the business community, respected friends and colleagues joining virtually, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be joining this launch ceremony of the WTO Chairs Program in Nepal. I begin by offering my congratulations on behalf of Australia to Kathmandu University School of Management on their selection to the Chairs Program. Across many sectors, Kathmandu University is demonstrating its leadership and its contribution to policy development, and I'm so pleased to see that this has been recognised through the WCP. The Chairs Program has been thriving since its inception in 2010, and now in its third phase, the program has established itself within the fabric of the WTO system as a powerful tool to build capacity among policy communities in both developing and least developed countries. And I congratulate and acknowledge the WTO's Deputy Director General Zhang for his leadership and the work of his team, led by Dr. Werner, on the success of this program. Through Australia's support of and participation in the program, we have encouraged the program's global reach and particularly its implementation in our region of the Indo-Pacific. So we're delighted that this third phase includes chairs from Southeast Asia, other countries in South Asia, and now, importantly, in Nepal. The context in which Nepal joins this program was most succinctly described by Nepal's Foreign Secretary, His Excellency Bharat Raj Paudyal, in his statement at the United Nations General Assembly on the 26th of September. He said, "No country can thrive without integration into the global market. The rising tide of protectionism and stalled trade negotiation are delaying the much-needed reform in the international trading system, which is tipped in favour of some. The poorer countries are yet to benefit from it. We must ensure open, fair and transparent trade rules so that all countries can benefit from it." So for Australia, the WTO Chairs Program has a unique value proposition. First, it builds trade policy understanding and capacity in the engine room of policy development within member countries, namely the research and academic community. This community is comprised of researchers and knowledge experts, those who have both historical and contemporary perspectives that are essential to the evolution of good trade policy. But they are also the teachers of the current and future generations of policymakers. So at the heart of the program is its focus on systemic and long-term impact. Second, the Chairs Program promotes connectedness. By bringing chairs together from across the globe, the program is helping to bridge gaps on complex policy questions, promoting an exchange of perspectives between academia and government. The program creates a forum for chairs to develop collective policy solutions for collective policy problems. When we're working with an international system, it is critical that we promote a common understanding of and engagement with the system, and that both challenges and solutions are collectively shared. And finally, the Chairs Program fosters original, thoughtful policy analysis and research. At a time when the multilateral system matters so greatly, the trade policy thinking that chairs bring to the debate can help us to find new ways to reinvigorate and strengthen the multilateral system, as well as national and global trade policy making. These are the global imperatives behind the Chairs Program, but today we mark and we celebrate a national milestone for Nepal. I'm really thrilled that Kathmandu University School of Management has been selected as a chair. Australia and Nepal are committed to the success of the multilateral system. We're both keen proponents of openness and trade to support development goals and to secure prosperity, lives and livelihoods. Nepal makes a very important contribution to global trade policy. At the WTO, Nepal is a powerful voice on issues affecting developing and least developed countries, as was evident at UNGA Leaders Week last month. Further, Nepal is a constructive partner for WTO members, working to strengthen and reinforce the system that underpins global economic and political security. I have no doubt that Kathmandu University's participation in the program will strengthen Nepal's immense contribution. Again, I congratulate the WCP and Kathmandu University, led by its Vice-Chancellor Thapa, on this significant new initiative in Nepal. Australia is a very proud partner of these efforts, and we look forward to following and supporting your research and contribution to the global trading system. Dhanyabad.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your kind words. To take the program ahead, I would now like to request the Academic Advisory Board member of WTO Chairs Program Geneva, Ms. Desiree Van Gorp, to kindly share a few words.
Good afternoon on this very special day of the launching event of the WTO chair by your respected institute. My name is Desiree van Gorp. I am Professor International Business at Nijrode Business University in the Netherlands and also member of the Academic Advisory Board of the WTO Chairs Program. Now, I would have loved to join you in person today for this special event, and I hope this opportunity occurs in the near future. But for now, I'm happy to join you online for this important day and to provide you with a perspective from the Academic Advisory Board on the launch of your chair. Now, I've been associated with the W Chairs program since 2013, so almost 10 years now involved in creating that cohort of academics, researchers and practitioners working on multilateral trading system elements. And there the WTO is at its core, as it's such an important element of the multilateral trading system. And I think today it's more important than ever to think about how the WTO can be future-proof and as such support that multilateral trading system. Together with the WTO Secretariat, the Advisory Board is here to support you as your work to implement your proposed agenda of curriculum development, research and outreach activities, being the three pillars of this WTO Chair program. And since the start of the program in 2009, we have by now 36 chairs. And they were selected in 3 different phases. And the third phase, we had about 126 applicants, from which we selected 17 chairs, and one of them is your chair. And I want to congratulate you again on this incredible achievement of building such a strong program in which you were able to integrate sustainability throughout the activities of your program, with a special focus on youth, farmers and disadvantaged groups becoming entrepreneurs. I think this program mirrors so well the profile of your institute as a research-based and responsive institute to the community, and I think this program is a very good reflection of that profile of yours. Now, the role of the Academic Advisory Board with its 14 board members that represent different countries and different areas of expertise is really to be a sounding board for you and to work with you in a progressive way to implement your program and roll it out to support you in that effort and build connections between not only the chairs but also other stakeholders. And in that effort, I'm looking forward to the interaction with you the coming months rolling out your program. I wish you a great launching event and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gorb, for your kind words and extending your extremely kind support from the Academic Advisory Board to implement the program. We also look forward to working with you to build the curriculum and everything else during this 4 years journey. Moving ahead with the program, I would now like to request the Ambassador and Deputy Permanent Representative of the Republic of Korea, Geneva, His Excellency Mr. Young-Sung Park, who is virtually present with us from Geneva, to kindly share a few words.
Let me start by offering my warm congratulations on the launch of the WTO chair at Kathmandu University School of Management. Nepal is an active contributor in the WTO-based multilateral trading system. Despite its limited presence in Geneva, Nepal is a tireless champion of causes that are dear to LDCs and landlocked developing countries. Advancing the agendas for a smooth transition for graduated LDCs is but one example of Nepal's contributions. The choice of business school to award a WTO chair is quite appropriate because at the end of the day, businesses are the primary and direct beneficiary of the WTO rulebook. I understand that the chair will be focusing on the sustainability dimension of businesses and green financing issues. In my view, these priorities are very well chosen. Making sure Nepali businesses are not only well integrated to global value chains but also connected in sustainable way are essential to their long-term adaptability in global markets. The theme of today's afternoon session is also related to one of the centerpiece of WTO's 12th Ministerial Conference. Ministers adopted a declaration on the emergency response to food insecurity. Paragraph 9 of the declaration highlights the importance of providing technical, financial assistance to LDCs and net food importing developing countries with a view to improving their agricultural productive capacity. More broadly speaking, the growing representation of LDCs in the WTO chair program is a welcome development. The chair in Nepal can help catalyze research on topics that have strong relevance for LDCs as well as LLDCs. We therefore applaud the WTO's decision to award chair to landlocked LDC in Asia. The in-person participation of Deputy Director General Jang Seong-chun attests to the importance of attached to the launch of Nepal's chair, and we thank him and his team for the tireless commitment. Korea is very pleased to play a small part in supporting the WTO Chairs program as a donor country. Although our contribution for this year is modest, we will be scaling up our assistance to the Chairs program next year. This is because we believe in the vision and the potential impact of the program to help enhance the long-term sustainability and viability of homegrown knowledge and expertise on the multilateral trading system. Let me conclude by extending my best wishes for the success of WTO Chair at Kathmandu University School of Management and my sincere congratulations to WTO Secretariat for setting yet another significant milestone in the Chair's program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your kind words and inspiring Kathmandu University to do better. The WTO Chairs program aims to enhance knowledge and understanding of the multilateral trading system among academics, policymakers, and civil society in developing countries and the least developed countries by stimulating teaching, research, and public debate on international trade at universities and research universities. Moving ahead now with the program, I would like to request the Director General, Ministry for Labor and Economic Affairs, from among the donors of WTO Chairs Program Geneva, Ms. Cynthia Zimmerman, who is here with us virtually, to kindly share your kind remarks.
Right Honorable Prime Minister Shea Bahadur Duba, Honorable Minister Dilindra Prasad Padu, Deputy Director General Chan, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to address you today at this launch event of the WTO Chairs Program in Nepal. Let me first say how excited I am about the expansion of the Chairs Program, particularly its inclusivity and diversity in terms of the participants. I congratulate the new chair with the entire team. So as a key donor for this new phase of the World Trade Organization Chairs Program, we are very proud to support a capacity building and development program that brings significant benefits to developing and particularly least developed countries across all continents. So to fully and effectively participate in this work at the multilateral level, it is crucial that developing and least developed country members have access to technical support and relevant analysis of issues that are of most interest to them. The World Trade Organization and other international institutions can provide some of this support. However, I'm convinced that nothing can replace tailor-made expertise developed domestically at universities and research institutions in various WTO members. This holds true for Nepal too, which is facing its own set of challenges and opportunities in its efforts to further its development through international trade. By way of example, given that agriculture represents an important share of Nepal's GDP and an even larger share of its employment, I particularly welcome the chair's intended research and training activities in the field of agribusiness. In view of achieving LDC graduation by the end of 2026, effective trade policies will be vital in facilitating the economic recovery from shocks that Nepal's economy has to overcome since the earthquake in 2015 through the COVID-19 pandemic and the food price and security crisis triggered by the Russia-Ukraine war. So I'm confident the chair and his team will be able to drive forward the research and training necessary to have devised such policies as in fact they already are. So through the Chairs Program, the World Trade Organization extends the reach of its technical assistance activities, involving university chairs, serving as multipliers in beneficiary countries. Notably, the program plays a key role in building human and institutional capacities in beneficiary countries to empower them to take advantage of the rules-based multilateral trading system. And the program's three pillars center around research and trade policy and WTO-related matters, curriculum developments, and lastly, assisting policymakers and other stakeholders through tailor-made advice and research. And as a representative of another country, I'm proud to note that independent external evaluations have concluded that throughout the previous phases, the program has greatly benefited developing and least developed country members. So the Chairs Program generates excellent long-term sustainability by capitalizing on academic specialization and increasing capacity in the host countries over the course of the professional careers of the chair teams at the selected universities. And the network of chairs established through the program also remains vibrant. Collectively, the chairs add multifaceted science-based and empirical perspectives on the ground in 36 countries, spread out among different regions in the world. So this generates synergies by allowing the chairs to better grasp the nuances of the WTO system, while allowing the World Trade Organization membership and the WTO Secretariat to draw the applied research and suggestions of the chairs to complement and also to support their work in Geneva. The program is thus, you can say, a win-win network for all stakeholders involved. It has proven to be highly effective in capacity building through WTO research, teaching, outreach, networking, and policy advice to governmental and other policymakers. So with the induction of this third cohort, I have no doubt that we will see greater collaboration among the chairs network to yield fruitful research outcomes in national and regional trade dialogues, all of which go a long way to supporting the multilateral trading system. So congratulations once again on your selection to the WTO Chairs Program, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Ms. Zimmerman, for your inspirational and kind words. We too certainly look forward to collaborating with WTO for the next 4 years during the program journey. I would now like to move ahead with the program and invite upon Deputy Director General, WTO, and today's distinguished guest speaker, His Excellency Dr. Zhang, to kindly share his thoughts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon. Honorable Chief Secretary, Mr. Shankar Das Baragi, Her Excellency, Mr. Felicity Walker, Australia's Ambassador to Nepal, Mr. Shankar Gocha, President of the Federation of Nepalese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and the Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Professor Bola Tampa. It's my pleasure to join you today in Kathmandu for the launch of our WTO chair. I would like to thank our chairholders, Professor David Badri and Professor Achut Vogla, for the invitation and the warm hospitality which I have received from your team since stepping foot onto Nepal's soil. Let me first congratulate our chairholders on your selection to the WTO Chairs Program. One of the program's goals is to create a network of trade experts and enlarge knowledge frontiers on WTO-related issues. The addition to Kathmandu University School of Management to the Global Chairs Network, which now comprises 36 chairs, brings perspective from a landlocked least developed countries and enriches discussions here at the WTO and at the building of the inclusive multilateral trading system. Since its accession to the WTO in 2004, trade has been recognized by Nepal as an important factor towards achieving long-term inclusive and sustainable economic growth. Nonetheless, the challenges facing Nepal should not be understated. As a landlocked LDC without direct access to key transportation routes, Nepal faces significant transit and transport costs for its export to rich international markets and vice versa. Food security is a further priority concern for the country. Agriculture represents over 1/4 of Nepal's GDP and 2/3 of employment, while Nepal's diverse topography allows it the potential to produce a wide variety of products. The country faces many challenges as a landlocked LDC with inadequate infrastructure, small-scale farming, low productivity, and a high risk of natural disasters. All these issues are further compounded by the public crisis afflicting the world we live in today, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the food and energy crisis, and the environmental crisis of climate change. As I mentioned at the launch of the WTO chair in India just last Friday, the WTO follows a two-pronged approach to assist members in counting those challenges. First, it draws on special and differential treatment built into the WTO agreement. And the second, it seeks to build capacity in member countries. The WTO Chairs Program is one such key technical assistance program by the WTO that seeks to build capacity through fostering knowledge and expertise in member countries. With support of our donors, in particular in France, Austria, Korea, and Australia, our chairs have been successful in generating high-quality and evidence-based research to support policy formulation and action by governments and other key stakeholders in beneficiary countries. This global and multi-layer network of chairs also allows for cross-fertilization of ideas, fostering greater knowledge generation, sharing and exchange at home, in the region and across regions for maximum impact at the multilateral forum. In this spirit, I look forward to the panel discussion tomorrow, which will engage on issues relating to Nepal's trade regime versus the WTO, trade challenges for Nepal and the fellow landlocked LDCs, as well as on challenges to food security, particularly for food importing developing countries. These are all issues which are crucial for sustainability and the growth of Nepalese economy. I'm also glad to see that these sessions will draw on thinking and research by speakers from Nepal, India, and Geneva in order to reap the benefit of cross-fertilization of ideas through the CHAIRS program and its global network. Nepal is no stranger to cross-regional and multilateral cooperation. The country is an active member of the LDC group at the WTO. As Nepal looks set to graduate from its LDC status by the end of 2026, trade remains key to helping graduated countries increase incomes, maintain growth, and truly achieve sustainable graduation. The chair in Nepal can thus play an important role in providing intellectual support to the country by embarking on research and activity that takes a long-term view to Nepal's economic needs. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, trade should be inclusive, sustainable, and responsible. The WTO has achieved remarkable outcomes toward this end at its 12th Ministerial Conference held earlier this year, and continues to work with members towards augmenting gaps and expanding on discussions in preparation for MC13. Director General Dr. Ngozi has called for members' participation in retreats to work through existing issues and brainstorming new ideas to approach existing and emerging issues. We have just concluded a retreat on fishery subsidies and are looking forward to the upcoming agriculture retreat later this month. It is in this same spirit that I welcome the series of initiatives which the chair in Nepal has planned for its activities this year. These initiatives include workshops that seek to incorporate human-centric design thinking concepts in the ideation of innovative policy tasks and tools, as well as training programs that focus on MISMIS and access to green agriculture finance. The Nepalese chair's focus on green innovation, climate finance, and sustainable development tracks very well with ongoing initiatives on environmental sustainability that are taking place at the WTO. I'm certainly looking forward to the fruit of their programs, which will go a long way to supporting a reinvigorated multilateral trading system. My best wishes to the chair in Nepal, and congratulations once again on your selection to the WTO's program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your insightful and inspirational words. We do agree that trade should be responsible, sustainable, and inclusive. Kathmandu University School of Management is extremely proud to be one of the 17 selected institutions for the third phase of WTO Chairs program, and hence the school will be implementing the third phase of the WTO Chairs program in Nepal for the next 4 years, from 2022 to 2026, based on the 3 major pillars of intervention, being curriculum development and teaching, research and capacity development, and outreach activities. Taking the program ahead, I would now like to take the opportunity to invite President of Federation of Nepalese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Shekhar Golcha, to please share his remarks.
Thank you, Chair of the program today, dignitaries on the dais, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start by congratulating Kathmandu University for chairing and championing the WTO Chairs program. So, congratulations. It's been 14 years, it's been 18 years since Nepal has signed the WTO. And we were quite excited that we are going to integrate ourselves to the global system and will be part of the global community. But 18 years has passed, and I feel that it's time to take a stock of the situation where we have reached. Has WTO helped our economy, or really Nepal has been part of the international global system or not? Just to share some figures, ever since we have signed in WTO, our imports was 28% of our GDP. We have increased to 39% of our GDP, and exports, which was just 11% of our GDP, has gone to 5.2% of our GDP. The total trade deficit has reached 1720 billion, and the trade deficit to GDP ratio is 35% now. In the last 18 years, imports has increased by 12 times, whereas exports has increased by only 3 times. Well, why were we? I mean, it clearly shows that we were not being able to integrate the way it was visualized when we signed 18 years back in the WTO. There are a couple of reasons for that, and I feel one of the major reasons is the private sector in Nepal was not competitive enough, and there were reasons for that, that the cost of doing business has been relatively very high, and last 18 years has been a roller coaster ride for the economy of Nepal. We have gone through huge political changes, times when the labor relation went very, very low, the productivity also went very low. We were at a time when the load shedding was 18 hours and all the industries were running on generators, and we had to compete internationally to our neighboring countries. The infrastructure cost and the logistic cost has been relatively very, very high in Nepal. Now let's see what our neighbors were doing. Now, in terms of industry, we all know that our northern neighbor really subsidizes their industry. The interest rate is subsidized, the land is subsidized, and they give long-term credits, which is very, very liberal to support their industries. If you look at southern border, we see similar sort of support for their industries. In terms of agro, we know for sure India, for example, subsidizes seeds, subsidizes fertilizers, subsidizes electricity, the land, the insurance is free, and also subsidizes the end price. Now my question is, how do we compete? Of course, WTO allows us to subsidize to some extent, but we cannot afford it. Our country cannot afford it. And that is the point I want to make. And I think this is the discussion we need to get into. That is it time to look inwards? Is it time to assess that did WTO really help our economy or help the cause we first went and signed it? Did it help when we declared ourselves as the champion of compliance in WTO? And I think as a developing country, we did take pride saying that, okay, we were a champion in compliance. Whereas our neighbors, who were much powerful economically, they really tweaked the WTO provisions and this created disadvantages for our industry. I feel that it's time we should reassess the situation. It's time to see that relatively high cost economies like Nepal, where we are landlocked and the other cost factors are also relatively very, very high. Countries which have gone through political changes, which has created a lot of disadvantages to the industry. Maybe this is in the short term, but it's time we should assess this. We should also assess the fact that being a champion in compliance of the WTO membership, and when our neighboring countries did illegal blockades to us, why was that being a champion country in compliance, WTO did not step in? I mean, of course, there could be some political reasons which compelled us not to be very strong or to the WTO. But the fact is, the Article 5 of the GATT agreement provides transit rights to LLDCs, but unfortunately, we didn't get any assistance. There could be an argument that why didn't Nepal officially complain to the WTO? But the fact remains, there are political compulsions which we have to go through. But this was again a disadvantage and a disappointment for our private sector. I feel now private sector, academia and government have to work together to identify bottlenecks and solve the problems associated with this. I believe this project will do research and conduct dialogue with stakeholders to get benefit from multilateral trading system. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Golcha, for your informative remarks. Certainly the private sector, the government and the academia needs to work together to sort out various bottlenecks. Moving ahead with the program, I would now like to request the Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, also the special guest of our today's ceremony, Professor Dr. Bhola Thapa sir, to kindly share his thoughts.
Thank you very much. Namaskar. Distinguished Chief Guest of today's event, Chief Secretary of the Government of Nepal, His Excellency Mr. Shankar Das Bairagi, Deputy Director General of WTO, His Excellency Dr. Zhang, and his team, Vice Chancellors, Deans and Professors from different academic institutions, Your Excellency Madam Felicity Volk, and member of diplomatic community, distinguished guests participating virtually on this event from Geneva and other part of the world, respected secretaries and high officials of the government of Nepal, President of Federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Golcha, and representative of private sectors, friends from media, my colleagues from Kathmandu University, co-chair and chair of this WTO chair. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Kathmandu University and on my personal behalf, I would like to sincerely thank you all for your valuable presence. Our chief guest, Mr. Bairagi, and Deputy Director General, Dr. Jang, in particular, who traveled all the way from Geneva for this lunch event of the WTO Chair Program, Nepal. Your Excellencies, it adds a lot of value to our efforts to successful implementation of the program by involving all key stakeholders at the highest possible level. As a leader of the university, I'm really proud man, because now we formally launched this year at Kathmandu University and we got opportunity. A lot of dimensions of WTO, this WTO chair professorship program and Nepal's scenario of trade balance have already been covered. Let me therefore only delve on 3 key points here. First, selection of Kathmandu University School of Management, KUSUM, as a member of WTO Chair Program through our rigorous evaluation process is indeed a proud moment for a university and for academia of Nepal. We greatly value this partnership and committed to make this program an exemplary success with support and cooperation from all key stakeholders, the government, academia, civil society, and especially the business sector. In all 3 key themes envisioned by WCP, namely enhancing the academic excellence, research, and outreach, the pathway which Kathmandu University also believes that to be a world-class university. Second, Kathmandu University has established itself as a leading institution in quality higher education and research. About 13% of its total graduates are international students, and we are keen to expand and consolidate our international presence through meaningful engagement with international organizations, academia, and research institutions. We have made special provisions to facilitate and support international students, faculties, and researchers to join Kathmandu University for studies, teaching, and research activity. Some of you might have observed in today's newspaper we have called the expression of interest to bring more and more international students in Nepal through educational consultancy services. We are also committed, like with the presence of WTO, foreign universities are opening campuses here in Nepal, and we are also committed and we are also trying Kathmandu University should also open campus abroad. So we have been doing some exercise on that matter. And thirdly, we are really proud and glad that we have offered a fellowship, research fellowship and scholarships to the foreign students, and through Chief Secretary and other with the embassies, we have already sent offer that every year Kathmandu University will provide 6 scholarships to the foreign students. I hope that we will be successful, and then you will be able to help us to find the right type of students to study here at Kathmandu University. I honestly feel that the KU's partnership with WTO through this chair program significantly helps to contribute towards achieving these objectives. Third, the excellence in academia and applied research, both in science and social science, is what has branded the Kathmandu University as one of the best universities of the country. We are now dedicating significant portion of our efforts to make our research endeavors more contextual, credible, and usable for the industry and society alike. For example, Kathmandu University has now first green hydrogen lab and the first policy lab among many other first in the country. Especially in the context, the challenges which Mr. Golcha has mentioned, I also do recall, Mr. Secretary Dr. Gyawali, the presentation you made in the presence of Right Honorable President about the opportunities and challenges we do have on trade in the context of Nepal, and then Kathmandu University is now on the gear to study and then to analyze those opportunities and challenges. I'm sure the proposed trade center under the WCP program is hoped to contribute in related research that in turn can contribute to evidence-based planning and policy formulation in the area. Our ecosystem of research across different schools and academic disciplines of the university will certainly work synergistically to make that end met. Finally, I wish for a very successful implementation of WCP Nepal program and assure all the necessary support from Kathmandu University leadership for the cause. We do have, together with WCP program, we do have experience of successfully running a Ford Foundation Chair for Environmental Studies. Last year we have introduced the Chair for the Conservation Biology, and with this program also now we have formally developed our guidelines for establishing more and more chair programs at Kathmandu University. I also would like to thank all of you once again for your very valuable time and presence, and wish the pleasant stay in Kathmandu University for foreign dignitaries, and then I welcome everybody, the Nepali stakeholders, foreign stakeholders, partners, to join with Kathmandu University for this very important venture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, respected Vice Chancellor, Kathmandu University, for your insightful and informative remarks. Certainly, we should be able to analyze the opportunity as well as challenges to find the right mix of students, like Sir said. I would now like to take this opportunity to request the Chief Secretary, Government of Nepal, His Excellency Mr. Shankar Das Bairagi, who also is the former Ambassador of Nepal to WTO in Geneva, to kindly share his remarks.
The Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Professor Dr. Boladapa, the Deputy Director General of WTO, Dr. Xianzhen Chang, sorry for my bad pronunciation. I do acknowledge the presence of Her Excellency Ambassador of Australia to Nepal, Madame Felicity Wall, the the Registrar of the Kathmandu University, Professor Dr. Achyut Wagle, my colleagues, secretaries in the Government of Nepal, Dean of the Kathmandu School of Management, Professor Dr. Devi Prasad Bidari, and Dean from other schools, my good friend, FNCI President Shekhar Golcha, and representatives from private sector, academia, researchers, scholars, media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, namaste. After so many powerful speeches, I'm wondering whether I should speak or not. Since the Kathmandu University has invited me as the chief guest, I do venture to speak at the cost of repetition, and my statement would be not that long, but I don't know. Normally it should be 10-15 minutes, so bear with me.
It's my distinct pleasure today to participate in this event to launch WTO chair programs for Nepal. Thank you, Kathmandu University, once again for the kind invite. As I understand, the chair program is a unique initiative by the World Trade Organization aimed at mainstreaming issues and dynamism of trade and international trade law into the academic programs, activities and researches in developing and least developed countries. This initiative, no doubt, helps countries to learn to maneuver, this is not a good word, maneuver, in the complex terrain of world trade. The program is for building connection between the idea generating domain of academia and practical world of international trade and its norm setting process. This is an excellent alliance, an alliance for good purpose. Ultimately, the program contributes to getting more trade researchers, experts and negotiators, and enhancing trade-related knowledge base in developing countries. WTO support in development and implementation of trade-related academic courses, thereby familiarizing the issues of international trade in classroom setting, is crucial for capacity building of countries like Nepal. I must therefore congratulate Kathmandu University School of Management for being selected to join the network of the CHAIRS program and thank the program, and thank the thoughtful decision of the World Trade Organization for choosing this university. Without your credential and reputation, it would not have been possible. The government of Nepal will extend all needful cooperation to make this program a success. Let me also thank the partners, countries and agencies who spoke today in expression of support to this program. They deserve our special appreciation. Needless to say, in its 30 years of education service to the country, the Kathmandu University has earned a distinct repute as Nepal's premier institution of higher education. I'm glad to see that the university has made commitment for quality, innovation, impact and global engagement in its Vision 2030. I believe the CHAIRS program will provide the university an important network and platform of engagement to provide and to enrich its academic and research activities. All the best in your future endeavors. Distinguished guest participant, Nepal joined the World Trade Organization in 2004 as its 147th member. We were the first least developed country to join the organization through the rigorous process of accession. This was a well thought out, well intended and well considered decision of Nepal to be a part of the huge multilateral trading system represented by WTO. We considered that by mainstreaming ourselves in larger international trading system, we stand the chance of diversifying markets for our products, being secured of stable trade and transit rules and arrangements, benefiting from various trade-related support measures under WTO. More importantly, we considered that it was not in our long-term interest to remain in isolation. Nepal has been a responsible member of the international community, and we have always nurtured international perspective, internationalist perspective in our world view. Talking about Nepal's trade performance, we have seen, however, over the years, some gaps between our expectation and what turned out to be the reality, and that my friend Golza has eloquently expressed in his opening remarks. Compared to the 1990s, our share of trade, particularly export trade in our GDP, has shrunk. Our import bill has exponentially increased, and there is no sign that the situation would be better, at least in the short and medium term perspective. This has resulted in a worrying magnitude of trade deficit, which at present stands at whopping 1:13. The soaring trade deficit has remained one of the major challenges for us. To recuperate the export, the terms of trade need to be eased for countries like Nepal, where WTO still can play a major interlocutor's role. Apart from providing a platform for a rule-based trade, support through technical assistance, building knowledge, capacity and know-how from WTO to advance trade competitiveness is equally critical. Private sector role is equally important in enhancing international trade, improving trade logistics, unlocking the supply side constraint and providing market access will be immensely critical for private sectors to be competitive. That my friend Kulchan knows better than me. Presently, the cost of doing business in countries like Nepal has been one of the major bottlenecks. The external condition has added extra burden, like the current ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the surge in fuel and commodity prices, and it's in addition to the freight and logistic costs that have further exacerbated the private sector's capacity to being competitive. These are the real challenges for us. There is no doubt that a major function of WTO, through its system of trade rules and enabling measures, is to help its members, particularly developing ones, use trade as a means of raising living standard of their people. The organization has done a lot in making the international trading system predictable, stable, transparent, rule-based, more open and less stringent. It has provided a forum for negotiating and developing norms as well as for settlement of international trade disputes. A number of countries have benefited from the platform of trade that WTO has generated and have been able to achieve incredible transformation in their socio-economic stature through global trade. Yet, not all have benefited. From this scenario, we infer that a country's trade is the function of both market access and the capacity. WTO opened up the avenues to the world market. The countries that had capacity to trade did well, of course, and those who did not adequately focus on productive capacity lagged behind and are lagging behind. Not all members of WTO are equally competent trading nations. Some have the edge and advantage, while others do face the structural constraints of various kinds. Therefore, for the international trading system to succeed and for this to be able to contribute to the achievement of sustainable development goals, there has to be some sort of level playing field for all member states. The agenda of Doha Development Round were defined in this context. Although, down the years, these agenda could not make headway as anticipated, the reasons that caused the drive of this agenda are still there. Countries like Nepal still hope that the architecture of international trade rules would be more fair and furthermore beneficial for all countries, especially for LDCs and landlocked countries. The special and differential treatment that are promised to them need to be fulfilled in earnest. And we are also talking about sustainable graduation as we intend to graduate from LDC status in 2026. However, we are not losing hope. Despite the uncertainties of the world geopolitics, the recently held 12th ministerial meeting of WTO demonstrated that WTO can still deliver important outcomes in multilateral trading system. The Geneva package does have positive and encouraging elements, including the declaration and decision on WTO response to COVID-19 pandemic and future preparedness. On trips waiver concerning compulsory licenses to produce COVID-19 vaccine, on the emergency response of food insecurity, and on exempting World Food Programme's humanitarian food purchase from export prohibition or restriction. Of course, agenda setting and WTO is not that easy process. I myself witnessed a rigorous negotiation when I was Nepal's ambassador to WTO and coordinating the LDC group. We spent hours and hours in green room meetings as balancing the outcome across three pillars. That time, the trade facilitation pillar, agriculture pillar, and the S&D pillar was a tough task. But somehow, our Brazilian friend rescued the process and we were able to deliver somehow a progressive outcome in MC9 in Bali, known as Bali package. So it's a very difficult, tough agenda. Negotiating trade is perhaps the most difficult negotiation of any negotiation. Anyway, these outcomes are crucial in ensuring availability of medical supplies and vaccines during future pandemics and in reducing the constraint of access to food. These are two pressing problems the poorer countries are facing today. All this again leads to the argument that the rule-based multilateral trading system represented by WTO is still relevant and has the competence to deliver on issues of concern for humanity at large. We must make sure that WTO would continue to function and would work more robustly to make the international trading system fairer and more enabling for the less resourceful countries where productive capacity is still a major issue. I think this is enough for today. With this, I would like to conclude my statement. I wish to thank you once again, and my special welcome to our international guests who have traveled all the way from Geneva to Kathmandu. Please enjoy your stay in Nepal. Have a productive meeting today and tomorrow. I wish you all the best. I wish the program a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your kind and insightful words. Being a part of the WTO Chairs program is definitely going to be beneficial for building knowledge, finding easier ways to enter and sustain in the world of trade, and also enhance trade-related awareness in developing country like ours. Taking the program ahead, I would now like to request the Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University, Professor Dr. Bhola Thapa, and the Registrar of Kathmandu University, Professor Dr. Achut Wagle, to kindly hand over the token of appreciation to the Deputy Director General of WTO, Dr. Zhang, and Mr. Sheng. Thank you so much, Vice Chancellor Sir and Registrar Sir. We have almost come to the end of the program, but we are now taking the program ahead, and the last bit I would like to invite upon Dean of Kathmandu University School of Management and also the Chair of WCP Nepal, Professor Dr. Devi Prasad Bedari Sir, to kindly share the closing remarks.
Thank you, Sunanda ma'am. Your Excellency, Chief Secretary, Government of Nepal, Mr. Shankar Das Bairagi, Your Excellency, Deputy Director General, WTO, and Chief Guest, Dr. Xiang Chen Chong, Honorable Vice Chancellor, respected Registrar of Kathmandu University, Professor Bhola Thapa, Professor Achyut Wagle, Your Excellency Ambassador from Australia, Ms. Felicity Bok, Your Excellency Ambassador from Korea, Young Song Park, Honorable Ms. Cynthia Zimmerman, Director General of Ministry for Labor and Economic Affairs in EU from Austria, Director of WTO Chair Program, Dr. Werner Duke, and WCP team members, WTO chairs, Honorable Secretaries and Ex-Secretaries of Government of Nepal, Academic Advisory Board member from WTO Geneva, Professor Desiree Van Gorp, members of Diplomatic Corps, Vice Chancellor of Agriculture and Forestry University, Professor Punya Prasad Regmi, President of FNCCI, Mr. Shekhar Golcha, Deans, Professors, and staff, Kusum community, distinguished guests, experts, advisors, government officials who have joined us physically or virtually, members of media. Good morning, good afternoon, and namaste from Kathmandu. We are honored to have you here and are humbled by presence of so many distinguished personalities virtually or physically. Recognizing Nepal's trade challenges, the WTO Chair Program has offered KU and its School of Management, we call KUSUM, a strategic opportunity to promote education and research, develop capacity in trade, international trade. This has opened up an unthinkable role for KUSUM to work with support from the paramount international trade organization, the WTO, trade experts around the world, researchers, and other stakeholders. It has availed us a pathway to channel energy to an agenda of direct national significance at a time when KUSUM was in search of such solid agenda for future. Through this launching program, KUSUM is able to connect to many distinguished personalities, making it a landmark event for our school. I am very much convinced that the next 4 years will spur growth in trade-related applied research and capacity building so that the school achieves WCP's mandate of sustainability of 3 pillar objectives. So we express our gratitude to donors, WTO and WCP for creating this opportunity for us. On behalf of KU and KUSUM, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to Dr. Xiang Chen Chong and his team for your highly sought presence and for graciously addressing this event, emphasizing that this program will avail us an important platform for knowledge creation through networking. I am grateful to Her Excellency Ms. Felicity Bok, His Excellency Mr. Young Song Park for their addresses and highlighting the importance of chair program and elevating elevating Kusum's spirit. We are honored to have Honorable Director General Ms. Cynthia Zimmerman, although virtually, and thank you for emphasizing academia's multiple role. It is the donors like Australia, Austria, France, Korea, and others who made the WCP program possible for us, and we are grateful for their contribution. Kusum appreciates Dr. Werner Duke and WCP team for being here for us, for your address and providing this grand opportunity to Kusum. Academic Advisory Board member Professor Desiree Van Gorp has been kind to suggest our focus to divert our focus on youth, farmers, and disadvantaged groups. Our Vice Chancellor and Registrar Sirs have been integral part of this project. We are grateful for their full support and their presence here. It gives a great pleasure to have our industry leader, Mr. Shekhar Golcha, among us. We appreciate your giving us agenda to work. It is an honor to have our Chief Secretary with us. We are very thankful for your gracious presence and citing challenges for Nepal and areas to work. This chair project asks to mobilize academia, government, businesses with the support of WTO chair program. Even though Right Honorable PM and Honorable Minister of Trade, Commerce and Supplies could not join this event, but we have received their goodwill and support. The school expresses its gratitude for that. Thank you so much to our organizing team. We know that they have been working very, very hard for the last couple of weeks. So thank you for working very hard to make this event a success. Finally, we appreciate your valuable time here with us in this event and your presence, very highly valued presence. In fact, you have shown in great number. That means a lot to us, and your presence has in fact encouraged us and emboldened our spirit to work hard in this project. So thank you so much to everyone present virtually or physically. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dean, Kathmandu University School of Management, for your kind closing remarks. So now we have come to the close of today's program. I would like to once again thank everyone present over here for taking out time from your busy schedule and being present with us to celebrate the launch of today's ceremony. We will now be closing the program with the official photograph session, which will be followed by high tea that is being served outside this hall. Thank you so much once again, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.